Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news report. The headline news today comes from Fabrizio Romano, and that's that Everton, West Ham and Newcastle are all interested in Roma striker Tammy Abraham, but the deal hinges on AC Milan, who Tammy Abraham is currently on loan with. This is an interesting one. Abraham, of course, has scored goals in the Premier League before as a success at other clubs like Aston Villa in the Championship. And it's one where I'd be interested. I think he's a similar profile striker to Calvert-Lewin a little bit, but his stats are a bit weird because on the surface, 2 goals and 2 assists in 23 Serie A appearances doesn't look really good, but he's only played 950 minutes, which is like 9.5 games. So 4 goal contributions in 9.5 games worth of football is pretty good when you think about it, but that is while he's also severely underperforming his XG, which he has 6.1. So let's say he hits that 6 goals, 2 assists, all of a sudden that's 8 goal contributions in 950 minutes, which suddenly looks a lot better. But if you look at his per 90 numbers, the non-penalty XG is quite disappointing, but again, that might have something to do with inconsistent playing time. And then again, his defensive numbers are really good. Which is important for David Moyes' system. The striker has to be willing to press. Beto proves that in how he's played and being able to press and win the ball back sometimes. And also, he did get that last-minute winner for AC Milan against Inter in the Supercoppa Italia. So it's one of those things where we'll have to see. I think it'd be an interesting one, and I think a lot of it does hinge on the fee. Could we get him a little bit cheaper because of the connection we have with Rome? Right, I don't know, but of course, if AC Milan are willing to pay the money, I don't see them selling him to us really, especially since it looks like he's an important squad player at AC Milan. With the dynamic of the group, he seems to get on well with people, so we'll have to see. The next bit of news comes from Footy Insider, and that's that David Moyes is set to speak to Everton staff about a sensational potential return for RICHARLISON as he edges closer to a move away from Spurs. I've said this before, I'm all for RICHARLISON coming back, but a lot of it does hinge on the fee and how much we're paying. Of course, he's had his injury histories. He's still only 27 years old, but how much have those injuries impacted him? We'll have to see. But for the right fee, I'd love to have RICHARLISON back at Everton and leading us up front in the new stadium. I think it'd be fantastic. But we'll have to see when more news comes out about that. Moving on, the Mail Sport have reported that Everton defender Michael Keane has several clubs around the world keeping tabs on his situation, with him likely to leave Everton this summer. The Saudi Pro League's Al Riyadh and American team FC Dallas are among those wanting the 32-year-old, whose deal runs out in June, with Wolves also showing an interest. I don't really care. Michael Keane's been here for a long time. He's been a good servant to the club. He's had his funny moments, haha, up front. But yeah, these past recent years, he's become a bit of a liability. The Tottenham game really showed that, where he was hugely at fault for Spurs almost getting back into the game. We're very lucky that we still won that game. And yeah, I think it's one where I think he's another one where the praise may come in after he's left, and that the rose-tinted glasses may come out a little bit for him. But I do think he's probably going to leave this summer. America probably seems most likely outfit to me. I think maybe Saudi if they're willing to pay him enough, but we'll have to see. Graham Bailey of TBR Football reported that Aston Villa, Everton, Brighton and Crystal Palace are all interested in Celtic defender Cameron Carter-Vickers. That's an interesting one because we still have Tarkovsky, and of course what I'm going to talk about after this is a new contract potentially for Jared Bramford. So it's one where Carter-Vickers have probably come in as a bench option. Would he want that when he could probably go to another club and start, for example Crystal Palace, if they do not end up signing Callum permanently, or they end up selling Matt Gay, for example, with that free at the back system? I don't know if we're planning on moving to a free at the back system, which could potentially impact Moyes' decision of wanting to bring in more centre backs. Of course, if Michael Keane does leave, then having another centre-back for cover is always nice, and having a better quality centre-back than Michael Keane and Carter-Vickers, who's done really well for Celtic in the Champions League and in the Scottish Premier League, but I don't know too much about him. So if there are any Celtic fans watching, let us know what you think about Cameron Carter-Vickers. But yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. We'll have to see if more news persists about potential centre-back signings. I do understand we do need a little bit of depth, but is someone like Carter-Vickers, who could just stay at Celtic and play Champions League football every season, going to want to join Everton to sit on the bench even for a bit of a pay rise? We'll have to see. And the big news here is that from Give Me Sport is Everton are on course to offer Jared Bramford a new contract. Bramford is anticipated to be offered a new contract worth in excess of £100,000 a week, even though influential figures at Everton do not want to drastically change their wage structure, and some new members of the hierarchy will be involved in key contract renewals, despite KEANE not starting his role until the summer. Yeah, Jared Brantford's well worth 100 grand a week. I understand we don't want to start this with offering everyone a certain amount of money, but Jared Brantford has potential to be one of the best centre backs in the Premier League, and he's probably not far from getting there at this point. To be honest, I think if he played for a top 6 side, he would be getting that shout. So he has mistakes in him, but again, he's still so young. And still has he has all the raw attributes. The mental attributes are only getting better and better the more he plays. 100% I'd give him this money, and it's not like we're offering 250 grand a week. If he's getting 120, 130 grand a week, the same money that we've been paying to Corey over the past few years, yeah, I think Jared Brantford's well worth that money. And again, it then puts us in much better bargaining position to sell him, and we could probably say, yeah, we want 100 million now. Price has gone up, sorry about that. So yeah, 100% should be offering Brantford a new deal, especially if we want to go up the league, having a centre back of that quality. Possibly again with Tarkowski, possibly with O'Brien, we'll have to see, but I think it'd be a fantastic move from the club to get him locked down on a new contract. And the last bit of news is not transfer related or anything like that, but it's that Everton are going back to the USA. Everton have announced that they will take part in the 2025 Premier League Summer Series over in the United States. For all our American toffees over there, you will hopefully get a chance to see the club in the summer, and hopefully in a much better position than we are now. Hopefully you actually get to see some of the first teamers and they're not all injured. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow me on Twitter at Callum Brandon 3. And I'll see you all for the next video and our live stream that I am on.